like to welcome everybody back to CYBL today. I know it's been a minute. Hey, Alan?
Yeah, I know.
Been a
We were talking about it. We thought we had done or at least I thought we had done another one, and you're like, "No, we only done the one or whatever." And I was like, "No way."
Yeah, that's weird. It's been a crazy season. It's been a crazy time. So much has happened. So you guys are going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot in this talk show because we got a bunch of meat, from this season. If you have been following, then you already know all things that have happened, from injuries to teams that have shined and players that have shined that we didn't expect. There's been a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, talking about some players, let's talk about some standout players, from this past season that we just didn't even see coming. Well, what would you say? Who were some of those
Hmm.
players you
Well, I know we were talking about him already, but Adamo has just
mm,
really, man, he's exploded out. He just keeps draining those threes like it's nobody's business, and he's got
oh,
pretty good ball handling too.
seriously? Yeah, he's not afraid. He's not
Yeah.
afraid. We've seen,
No.
yeah, it's crazy. Like what we've
Uh,
seen, even with
like
him, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
No, I know he's been exceptional. I mean, a lot of actually, I'd say like a lot of the whole strikers team, Eddie Tien,
mm,
like in that game they were down. I forget which one it was. They were down, and he drained two threes to bring them like and in quick succession to bring them so close in that game. And I just thought, wow, that team, man, that team's just coming together.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. I just think that, like, man, it's everything is so close this season. It's so close. Like, it feels closer than it did at the beginning of the season because I think it took a bit for like teams to warm up. You know what I mean? And you have some of the teams that are now like warmed up. They're ready to go. The
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the Warriors are looking like a team that have warmed up. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, here's a stand-up player for me. So I'm gonna say,
Mm.
Zion, to me,
Oh my
this
goodness,
season
ridiculous.
is an incredible stand-up. He is the defensive anchor of this team.
Yeah.
When I watched, okay, that game, do you remember that game against the Knights? It was 31-31.
Mm,
It's literally like, it's essential. Well, no, it was 33-31. They were up by two, and the
mm,
Knights had a chance to tie it, to send it in to overtime. And
mm.
man, Zion comes running on the floor out of nowhere. He looks like, I forget who it was that was wide open. I don't remember which player was wide open, but he's wide open. He's
Yeah,
about to put up the layup wide open, and Zion comes out of nowhere and just like, man, he looked like he had like some
yeah, yeah.
boost shoes on or something. Like, it was crazy. Man,
I
like,
know.
it's crazy, man. His athleticism,
Yeah.
it's
Well, and just the coordination now that's caught
mm,
up to him, right? Like he's
yep,
definitely
yep.
way more coordinated. I remember having him on my team, and the issue we were always having was all the fouls. But now
Mm,
it's ridiculous. Like he doesn't like he still fouls a bit, but not
that's what
anywhere
I'm,
near,
yeah.
not anywhere near where it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy, man. So that's definitely a big thing. I would say, just right off the bat, when
Mm.
uh, we're talking about some unexpected players. Who's another unexpected player? Do you think?
Well, I mean, it's always interesting with the rookies. You just never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Cohen, I expected him to be good, but
Mm-hmm.
he's really showing like he's got it on both ends, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he's just getting better and better as the season progresses, and I'm excited to see
Mm-hmm.
what maybe him show up even more in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like, what if that happens? Like what if
yeah,
he
I
just
know,
goes off, right?
I know.
Max Wright's been awesome for the
Max
Giants. Like
Bright.
you and I were talking about, he had that
Mm-hmm.
15-point game there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's just Jaden's improved so much.
Aiden.
This has been one of his
Mhm.
best seasons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think definitely those guys have really just like, you know what, I think that like, um honestly, like, heart always outdoes skill, right? If a
Mm,
player,
yeah.
there's players that have skill, sometimes aren't giving their very best at all points, right? And players
Mm,
that
yep.
will outdo them by giving that
Yeah.
110% effort at all points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, and
Yeah.
that's something that we saw, and like, I mean, and when we talk about like MVPs, something we
Mm.
saw really coming out of Aiden, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
for sure. I definitely think that's something that Aiden does well at is just giving his 100% every time he's on the court, right? So
yeah,
I don't think that's something anyone could ever contend with that he's
no,
giving 100%, right? And
no,
but yeah, and that's where like that linked to his skill just makes an all around
exactly.
amazing player, right?
It's a combustion
Yeah.
for success, and
Mm-hmm.
so that brings us here to talk about the breaking news update on Aiden. Very, very sad story,
Yeah.
guys. Aiden will not be in the playoffs this season. He went down just before practice,
Mm-hmm.
with a sprained ankle, if I'm correct. Was it sprained?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the doctor says it should be 2 to 3 weeks, which
Hmm.
is a blessing because I mean sometimes those can they can get extended, and I mean also was he did have a history of a broken ankle, so I mean
Yeah.
it's good once you break it twice. Like it is okay once you break it the first time because
Hmm.
it can heal stronger, but if you break it a second time they actually say that you could have a lot of issues down the road. So I am thankful for that fact for him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
he's looking forward to next season. But he will be on the bench helping to coach,
Yeah.
so
That's
that's that
good.
he's got a lot of he's got a
Yeah.
lot of understanding of the game, and so I just
Hmm.
that'll be helpful. But yeah, we're praying for him and
Yeah. Praying for him. Yeah.
hoping the best for him. Yeah.
And I'd say any of you guys out there that believe and stand with us, stand for Jesus. Let's be praying. Let's be praying for Aiden.
Hmm.
We want to see that fast recovery. We want to see, God come through and, yeah, bring us a fast
Amen.
process for him. Because I believe it. I tore my Achilles tendon,
Hmm.
and the doctor said it'd be 12 months, and I was back and able to play basketball within 8.5 months. So, like,
Yeah.
just literally by coming together with other believers and praying, and that's we're Christian Youth
Amen.
Basketball League, and so that's our heart. We want to see
Amen.
God in every area of our leagues.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's a big one, for sure. It ain't going down, so that will definitely make things look interesting. So
Yeah.
now that we've come to that point where we can now look and we can say, okay, let's see the seating now. The seating is in
Yes.
place. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, let's look at some of that, man. Let's look at some of the seating right now for the upcoming
Yeah, you
playoffs.
like the matchups, eh?
It's crazy, man. It's gonna be,
Uh,
yeah. So
yeah.
obviously, the first game of the night will obviously be the Warriors and the Strikers. So Warriors and Strikers gonna play each other. What do you think about that matchup, man?
I honestly think that's gonna be if that's not an overtime game, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
or like it's gonna be I think it should be down to the wire. I don't know. It's the Warriors have like so many good pieces.
Oh
I
man.
mean, it's innumerable the amount of pieces they have, and then the
Yeah, yeah,
strikers have really come together as a team, is what I've noticed out of them. Like I think Derek Mike has been doing a great job as a point guard, just
yeah.
distributing the
Hmm.
ball, making good decisions.
Yep.
Braden's been solid down low for them, and then you've got Cohen and you've got Eddie Teen and Adamo. Like they've got a lot of pieces, and we haven't even said, but they've got Will Lewis, they've got
Hmm.
Grayson Baptiste, right? So
Wow.
they've got so many guys that
Wow.
just. I mean it's gonna be a game. I don't know. That
It's
one's
gonna
gonna.
be.
I honestly I mean, if I had to lean one way, I'm gonna say Warriors, but
Mhm.
I can see it going the other way completely as well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I mean, for both of these teams, this is a big moment for them. Both for the
Mm,
franchises of the Strikers and the Warriors. Because when you look at the Strikers, well, they are an expansion team, and so this will be
hmm
their first chance of making it to a semifinal game.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Right? So that's huge. Also for the Warriors, if it's also their first chance to make it back to the semifinals since the summer of
Mm,
2022.
wow,
The
wow,
summer of 2022 was the
wow.
last time
That's
the Warriors. Yeah,
that's a
I know.
long time, man. That's
It's a
crazy.
long time. It's a long time. So
Wow.
this is the first chance for them to make a crack at it. I could
Mm.
see it happening, and
Isn't that
I
kind of like the Cinderella story right there? The Warriors. I love it. Like they
yeah,
finished last season,
yeah, yeah.
and they have most of the same players on that
Also,
team. Honestly,
that's so
most of the
true.
same players,
Wow,
right?
wow.
Ewan, Ziman, Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
Ashton, um, I believe
Noah Trate.
no, yes, I believe Noah Trottier as well, right?
Yep.
And they have a lot of the same pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole core is the same,
The whole core is
and
the same.
and yet look at them. They finished fourth this season, and they
Yep.
were just getting heated up. They never
They
even
were.
had their full strength ever. Like
No,
when
never.
Nash wasn't there, Ashton was, and even then when Nash wasn't there, Jordan wasn't there, and Jordan's a big
Yeah,
part to their team. I think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
personally, I think he's underrated on that team as
Mm-hmm.
like being the energizer to that team. I
Yeah,
really think he brings a lot of that. What we talked about was heart, and I think
yeah, yeah.
Jordan and Zion show a lot of heart all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Jordan's always just got that can do positive
Yeah,
attitude. So I think he brings that to the team. And so without him there, that was a huge loss for them as well. And so they didn't ever have like Nash, Jordan, and Ashton all at the same time. It was crazy. So
yeah, that's crazy. They haven't
yeah, they're
played.
just
I
getting
don't think
ready,
they've.
man.
This is crazy. You're right. I don't think the Warriors have ever played with their full loaded squad, like a fully
No,
loaded squad this season. At
no.
any point, like someone was always
No.
missing. So this is going to be spectacular. I think to see Ashton come back from his injury, and he's ready to go because he was actually ready to go last game. He just took the game off, so he was ready for playoffs.
Mhm.
So he's ready to go, and I know he's hungry. I know he's hungry. I already know, from
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
he's hungry. And then you got Nash there now too. Nash is there, who's been
Mhm.
really the cornerstone holding it down in absence of
Mhm.
Ash as a rookie. So which is
Absolutely.
huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
So you got him, and then you've got you got Noah Trottier, you got Zyman, Jordan. Oh, by the way, Jordan is now, isn't this incredible? Jordan, who first came in this league like a long time ago, and you were coaching
Mm.
him at one point.
Yeah.
He is now he's a two-time All Star now.
Yeah, I know. I'm impressed, and I honestly think he deserves it every time he gets voted in. I think he deserves it.
Yeah,
It's incredible. Like he never used to make any of his shots before, and now I would say he's over 50% of his shots are made,
hmm
like easily. I think so. It's impressive, and he and he can shoot threes as well. So
yeah, you can.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
It's
just
just,
the mid range for him. Yeah,
and now it's gonna be him and his brother Simon on
yeah,
the All Star team as Simon makes his first All Star appearance this All Star game. So
nice.
that's gonna be cool.
Wow,
And that's
that's
a team.
awesome.
You know what's incredible? That's a team. That's crazy. They're a team of four All Stars on there.
Wow, wow,
They're four
yeah,
All Stars, man. They got
wow. That's
Simon,
impressive.
Jordan, Ashton, Nash, all All Stars this season. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't think anybody else has that many. So
No, I
man,
think what the Flames have Miles, Nathan, and Darren, right?
Miles Smith and Darren. Yep,
Yep.
yep,
So that's the next closest. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it is going to be really interesting. So moving on now to the next matchups. The next matchup is going to be, you got the Flames and the Angels.
Mm,
Whew, that's another big matchup.
yeah.
Oh man, what are your thoughts, man?
I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I think like I think the Angels have every potential of winning that game. I
Mm,
think they had a slow start against the Flames this past game that they just played them,
yeah,
and honestly, you take away that slow start and Michael hitting his shots, like I don't know, like honestly, Michael makes so many good shots and he hits a lot.
yeah,
That game they just weren't going for him for some reason, and I don't know
no,
why. And they were at the end, but if he can make it all the way through the game,
yeah,
I think they win it. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they had the Flames locked down defensively. They locked it up and then they started playing great defense. And goodness, think about this. Take this in. Ethan Smith was not even there. He
Wow.
wasn't even there last game.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
think. I think like looking at the Angels, like they only lost to us by 2 points. They were a fully loaded
Mm.
team. They lost to us by 2 points. That was a scary game. It was a really fun game. Honestly, they're
Yeah,
down to the
yeah,
wire.
yeah.
But I thought the whole time we played them, like man, like this team is a team that can beat us. They really can.
Mm.
They got a lot of pieces too, and they're playing together, and they just play with such a joy, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
play with
yeah.
such joy, such selflessness.
I know.
Like
I love their
no,
team.
I don't think there's one player on that team that's like selfish.
Yeah. You know what? Sorry, I just have to correct myself. Was Ethan? No, they just played, and Ethan was there that game, wasn't he?
Ethan was there that game. It was the previous game to that he
It was the
wasn't there.
previous game he
Yeah.
wasn't there. I was thinking of the last game, but yeah. Either way, I don't think it wasn't clicking for a lot of them. Like we just played with Ethan tonight. They scrimmaged against us, and he was draining everything. It was ridiculous, man. At contested shots,
Wow.
everything, just everything. And so
Wow.
I think him and Michael being on their game,
Hmm.
um, just really like hitting those shots. I think that brings them to
I
the
think it's
finish line.
yeah.
But I think the Flames are unbelievable right now too. They're what are they on a 5 game winning streak or 4 game?
Four-game winning streak right now, man. They lead. They have the most.
Yeah.
They're on the largest winning streak right now in the league. So
Hmm.
that
Yeah, they're
is
unbelievable.
they're unstoppable right now. And to be honest, I don't know. Like they're a really scary team with all their pieces
Yeah,
together. Like they,
absolutely.
yeah, they really could go far too. I think that game also has the potential of going in the overtime.
It
I,
does. Yeah, that one does as well. Yeah.
I think it really does. But in the end, who do you see coming out on top in that game?
Oh, I guess I want Angels to win,
Hmm.
but I would have to say Flames. Just
Okay.
I feel like the Angels, if they had one more season together, all those
Mm.
guys, they become one of the top contenders. I still think they're still trying to figure a few things out, but
Mm.
Coach Maria had a few practices this week,
She
so
has. She has.
you never know.
You never know. I'm actually gonna go Angels. I think
Wow.
I think the Angels are gonna do it. And they're gonna take it. I think that yeah, I think they're gonna lock in, man. And if they all click in, man, it's like they have so like
Yeah.
just think about the pieces they have too. Okay,
Mhm.
Sebastian. When Sebastian is on, he's
Oh, he had a
he's a
great game
problem.
last game. He had
He's
a
a
great game
problem.
last game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you got
Yeah.
Ashton. Then you've got Michael. You got Jordan Cuban.
I
You
know.
got,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You got Ethan when he's on his game. You got Ryder, who's been
Mhm.
really showing up for them.
Mhm.
Not to mention, I'm gonna say this, and we'll
Mm.
see what some of the players think about this. But Thomas Williams
Mm.
has actually putting the straps on Nathan Lanning last game. It was
Mhm.
actually watch watch him defend Nathan Lanning. He didn't
Mhm.
care how small he was. He just gave it to him, man. Like he was just
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah, he
he
had great
played
defense.
great defense. Yeah, great
Mhm.
great defense. So like, you have so many, and not to mention Tyler Hahn was missing for them. This is a key player,
Mm. Right.
injured.
Yeah.
He was injured,
Mm.
so
Is he back?
he should be back. I think he had like a
Okay.
foot foot injury or something like that.
Mm.
A lot of foot injuries this season, man. A lot of like
Yeah.
foot
Yeah.
ankle
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
going on, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I think though, if they're clicking all together with their crowd is
Oh
like
yeah.
an A plus. Their
I
crowd is
know
like an
their
A
crowd's ridiculous. Yeah.
plus. Like they're so loud and they're so into it, and they literally bring the energy in the gym like nobody's
Mm.
business. And you
Hmm.
already know how it's gonna be. Playoffs is gonna be another level.
Yeah. It's
Energy.
exciting.
So I'm so excited to watch that game, man. It's gonna be so good. So
Yeah.
I'm saying the Angels, bro. Saying the Angels.
Mm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So moving down the list now, we got the third game of the night that's going to take place on the Friday is my team, True North, versus the Knights. What What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I think the Knights are struggling this season. I know they're not even in last, but I honestly I think there's just not enough trust in the pieces they have. I think you need to get Aaron off the ball
Mm,
and put him up in center.
mm,
Him and like him and Peyton should be grabbing every single rebound. Like
that's true.
they're
They're beast.
absolute
Yeah,
units. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and last game the other team out rebounded them by like 10 or 15 or like that was us, right? And
Wow,
it was just like I think it was over like, we were out rebounding them. It was just ridiculous.
wow.
And there's no reason for that when Aaron
Mm,
is like by far one of the most dominant defensive
yeah,
players, but he could be doing that on offense. Like I think you need to
yeah.
get him off the ball
Hmm.
and you need to trust in your pieces. You have Jacob Hackett who
Wow.
has
Yeah,
shown that he has the ability
yeah,
to be a good point guard,
yeah.
and you also have um
Carter Van
oh
Campen.
sorry Carter Van Campen, who
Yeah,
is just incredible as well.
yeah.
And then you have shooters like Ethan Judd, and
Wow.
I'd be using Peyton and Aaron down low to just dominate the
Hmm.
and make a mess for everyone, right? I think if they switch up their tactics a bit, they have a higher probability of beating you. But as it sits right now, I think you guys easily win that game.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I would have to say that like yeah, obviously I think like the Knights just have to realize that like I think that if they actually use all their pieces, like they got a lot of great pieces, man.
Hmm.
Not to mention Lucas
A lot of
Lefesto.
great pieces.
We forgot about
Yes,
Lucas
that's right.
Lefesto.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
He's
I did forget about him. Yeah.
and I think he's another rookie that's been overlooked this season, but I think he also has
Yes. Yeah.
great potential. He's a great rebounder too, great
Hmm.
defensive player, and I think that like with those three big men, and then with the rest of their squad, and you got Carson Hui,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh, and
That's right.
Josh Webb. Like
Yeah.
that's a team that doesn't have a lot of weakness. If you really
No.
look at the team, like they don't have a lot of weakness. They aren't the same championship team
You're
of
right.
2 seasons ago. They aren't.
Yeah.
But they have to develop a new identity, and I think that's the kind of phase that the Knights are in right now. Is it's kind
Hmm.
of like it's time to develop a new identity,
Hmm.
especially after Nathan Koru leaves. After winning the last championship, and then
Hmm.
Marco hasn't been around yet. Like it's time for a new identity to form. I think it will.
Hmm.
It's just gonna take some time. They're kind of in the rebuild phase. I think
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
They won 3 championships in a row, so they
Yeah.
don't
It's
have like
yeah.
they don't have like a crazy amount to complain about. All you gotta do, guys, is go home and look on the shelves at the gold medals, and remind yourselves.
Yeah. For
um,
sure.
but I think that I can't underestimate them. I think as being the team that we are, we can't underestimate them because we do know
Hmm.
that Aaron and Peyton have championship experience,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, I can't underestimate that because at any point things could turn. They could have had even if the bats. Like, here's the thing. Remember a few seasons back. Um, Actually, it was that season when they beat us in the finals, and the
Mm.
summer of 2023, they went 4-4 on the season.
Wow.
This is the season right before the expansion, right? They go four and
Wow.
four. They go 4-4 on the season, and everybody's like, "Oh no, this is not the Knights season. Like
Yeah.
they're not doing it." And then all of a sudden, like they turned everything on their head. They blew out the Giants, then they went on to play the Lions. They beat up the Lions, and then they in the final they play us and they beat us up. So
Yeah.
anything could
Yeah.
happen.
No, absolutely. And that's exactly it. Anything really can happen.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick, obviously I'm picking us to move out of that round. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I do think that anything could happen, and I can't rest in just saying that. And I think as True North, all my players got to know too. Like we can't play like we won a championship. Yeah, we got this
Hmm. Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
not the same. It's not the same this season. There's a lot more teams that can do it. There's no real team that I
Hmm.
feel kind of like we were talking about with Coach Tyrese. There's not a lot of teams that really we can say are underdogs this
Hmm.
season. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that brings us to your game, which is obviously the one that is
Yeah.
very, it's very disappointing. It's very sad when you're down. But the Lions and the Giants, I think, with now the Giants having Dorian there now, Dante has been cleared to play. Dante
Mm.
has been cleared
Right.
to play, so he will be there in that game. They've got Orion, Adrian, Max Wright. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Jaden,
It's a lot of pieces. Yeah.
Jaden, who's been playing really well.
Oh, absolutely.
Man,
Yeah.
and
Fantastic.
just unbelievable. I love his game. I love the way that he plays, man. For his height and everything, he just gives 120%, and it's awesome, man. Some
Yeah.
of the bigger players can take a page out of his book, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. So what's
Gotcha.
your prediction there? What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking, to be honest, I'm still thinking it's going to be a close game because what I know is going to happen. If you look at what KJ did last season on the Strikers, he
Hmm.
carried
Yeah.
that team, the Strikers, their first season, and as an expansion team with no chemistry and just like fresh, right? He carried that team in that game, like draining clutch buckets. It's just that he went against one of the clutch guys, most clutch guys in
Yeah.
CYBL history in Nathan
Yeah.
Landing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so
I
when you
know.
go up against one of the most clutch players in CYBL history, like Nathan Landing, like it's kind of hard, especially as a rookie, to kind of match that same intensity.
Hmm.
But it was like it went down to the wire. It was a 1 point game. So
Yeah.
um, I look at that and I go, man, okay, KJ can bring this team together because not only can he anchor an offense with his scoring, but he can also anchor an offense with his playmaking.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Absolutely.
that to me, it brings a level that like, and I think there might be also a motivation to literally like rally together for Aiden Stockton.
Hmm.
So I think we're gonna see that rallying together. And I think that, oh, man, it's so hard to predict. I don't know. I could feel like this game could go to overtime too. Personally,
Mm.
um, I'm not just saying that to make you feel good, but I'm actually I
Yeah.
actually mean that because I'm looking and I'm saying KJ makes the players around him better. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? And so like that could be a big difference. Ultimately, I'm going to say just because of what it looks like on paper, I'm going to say the Giants move on to the next round.
Hmm.
But I do think that if KJ brings it, which I think he's ready. I think he's ready for the moment. I think KJ is ready
Hmm.
for the moment. He's shown us that. Um, I think he's going to bring it up a level, and I think we'll to see kind of how the pieces around him come together. They still got,
Hmm.
he still got a few pieces. They still got a few pieces that could bring it together. So
Hmm.
yeah, what's your
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm kind of on the same line as you. Like,
Hmm.
I definitely think the Giants now have the edge. I mean,
Hmm.
like with Dante coming back, I
Yeah.
thought that was still going to be a close game with, um, it was Aiden there, but Yeah, with Dante coming back, that kind of complicates a lot of things. I mean, they've got a lot of height there, right? They've got
Hmm.
Dante, Orion, Adrian, Kyle McCundy, right? They've got a lot of height, and but I do think like Big John's been playing extraordinary, and like
Yeah.
he's just been, like he even showed when we played against the Giants and we were missing KJ that
Hmm.
he could shut down Orion.
Hey. Yeah.
He like Orion was struggling with Big John, and I just
Yeah.
thought that was quite impressive, like for what where he's kind of come from, and I'm quite impressed with Big John there. So, and then Graham gives everything. I
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly that guy is the definition of hustle.
Oh man, he really.
Um, so I don't know, and then Josh, we talked about it tonight. If I can get what Josh has had at different moments, right? Different games. If I can
Yeah.
get that Josh out
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
then I think it is leaning a bit in our favor, right? So
Hmm.
it is
Hmm.
all about all the pieces rallying together, and
Yeah.
I think I hope that we can do that, and we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. But yeah, I definitely at this point I think it's leaning in their favor, but I really hope we can make it
Hmm.
happen.
Hmm. Yeah, because I mean, like, it's not an easy path to the finals for you as a first seed to begin with, which
Yeah.
is you would
Yeah,
expect
which is the opposite. Yeah.
you, you would expect as a first seed you'd have a easier path, but the Giants are now looking they're more formidable now with Dorian there and Dante there.
Absolutely.
Then once you if you pass through them, then you got to face either the Strikers or the Warriors. So in the semifinals.
Unbelievable.
So like,
Unbelievable.
I mean, the teams
Yeah.
couldn't have landed in a better spot, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I know you're jumping up and down. I think
Oh man.
yeah, I know. It'll be an interesting honestly, I really look forward to seeing
Oh
teams thrive this season and just see who's
yeah,
going to make it. I feel in seasons past we've been pretty close with our predictions, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly think we're going to be wrong about a lot.
Ooh, ooh, that's
I
gonna
think
be
there's going to be a lot of upsets or this or that, you know what I mean?
yeah, you're right. That's
Kind of
gonna be
like the Flames and Angels, like there could be upset there, right?
there could be there could be. So who what would you say, bro? Like if you had to go off of first, second, third, who would you say
Mm,
goes first, second, and third in this season?
wow.
It's a I love doing this every
I
season.
I'm actually I'm gonna say Warriors first.
Wow! Oh wow! We're saying the Warriors win their first championship. Oh wow! This is
Yeah,
big. This is a big prediction. I've never seen you take risks like this, man. This is crazy.
yeah. I don't know. They've impressed me a lot, and
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I just think they just need if they pull together, keep passing the ball, do the right things. I think that they have everything
Yeah.
needed to make it there. I just don't.
Yeah.
They have one of the best defensive players this season.
I
Okay.
think one of the best defensive players we've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, I think like yeah. Honestly, it's just incredible what he's doing. Like
Like.
um, wow. And then just all the scoring pieces. They have
Mhm.
a million scoring pieces. It's not just one or two guys you have to shut down. You have to shut
Yeah.
down every single player on that team. You have
Yeah.
to make sure your defense is 100% against them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Oh.
can't I just can't I don't know. I
And
just
you know
can't
what's
see
crazy?
yeah.
You know what's crazy? Ewan, who
Mm,
last season he was an all star. This season his stats have dropped a little bit, but Ewan
mm,
is a player that I think is still like he's right there, and he can have a game at any point where he can get hot.
yeah,
He can
yeah.
get hot at any point, and so I think you got to watch it. He, for me personally, is the X factor in their playoff series. If he can
Mm,
turn up, I think it changes everything for them. It makes their offense even that much more versatile. Um,
yeah.
and to be honest, I think it will happen, and this is why I think it will happen. I think because of the very fact that now Ashton's back, all of the
Mm,
focus defensively is going to be in stopping Ashton and Nash.
mhm.
There's going to be
Right.
so much focus on them that they're going to miss they're gonna miss Ewan.
Yeah.
And Ewan's, I think, is gonna have an opportunity to kind of get back into his comfort zone.
Right.
Playing with a little less pressure on him. You know what I mean? And get
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
comfort zone, along with having right beside him Jordan and Noah Trate on the other side. Like I think
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
they, what, you're not really wrong. I actually really, I think that actually could take place and that'd be wild. I would actually be really happy for them though, because
Mm.
it would mean that they would be their first championship, excuse me, ever,
Yeah.
and not only that, their first time to the finals.
Hmm. Yeah. So
So
I could see them first, and I guess that means if they won, that means you would be second, I
okay,
guess, right?
yep,
Because that could work. As far as third goes, I'd go Flames
mm,
or myself. I mean, like maybe like
yeah,
it
yeah,
just depends how we do. Yeah, but yeah, it would be. I would just say that, yeah, Warriors first, you second, and then you know what, like go with me third, I guess.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Dang, yeah.
What's
This
your prediction?
it's looking real different than we've ever seen before, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
My prediction is honestly, um, I gotta go. It's so hard. Actually, it's actually very hard. I'm gonna start at the bottom. I'm gonna start at third, and then I'm gonna go way up because I gotta really think about these ones.
Mm,
But I think third. I think I might actually go with the Giants in third.
Giants. Yeah.
I think
I saw that coming. I saw
yeah.
that coming.
I think I see the
Yeah.
Giants going to third. Man, you make a really compelling argument for the Warriors. You make a
Mm,
really compelling argument. The hard thing is that game, that for their first game against the Strikers, they're gonna be expending so much energy. This is my
right.
opinion. It's
Yeah.
like they're gonna be expending so much energy against the Strikers, and then they're gonna have to go in right after that and either play you or the Giants the next day.
Hmm.
Like I just think it's gonna be so difficult for them,
Yeah,
but
they've got a hard road. Yeah.
they got a hard road, but it's not impossible with Ashton back. So
Hmm.
that is where, you know what? I'm actually gonna say Warriors second,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna say us first.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that's my prediction. I think it's not. And here's the thing about us first. This season is not locked in. I'm not like I can't. I have to say it just because we have to have a
Yeah. Yeah.
prediction.
Yeah.
But if I'm completely honest, it could surely be the Angels could do it. The
Hmm.
Flames could do it if all their pieces are there.
I know, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like with the talks of Nathan Lanning not making the semifinals,
Yeah.
that really that kind of puts a damper on my sending them
hmm
further. You
hmm
know, that's really what it kind of comes down to for
It's
me. I would put them way higher.
yeah. Yeah.
I would
But thank
actually put them at first
Yeah.
if
Oh wow. Yeah.
I knew he would be there at the but with the talks of him maybe not showing up for the semifinals.
hmm
I can't predict them any higher than
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
could honestly see, I put myself in first. I gotta be loyal to True North, and I really
Yeah.
do think we have a really good team. We got to defend our as a reigning champions. We have got a lot to defend. Um,
Mm,
but I do think also like teams like the Angels are coming. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah.
They are coming. Teams like the Flames, if they're somehow possible to keep Nathan there, like they
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
dangerous. Like
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if Nathan is there the whole way through, they could literally just take the whole thing. Like
I
it is
think honestly if
that big.
Nathan's there the whole way through, they're the number one seed
It's
in my opinion. Like going into the playoffs, they're the number one like
mhm,
contender.
they're gonna be dangerous. And then again, like, what would you say? What are some of the wild card teams for you, in this playoffs that could make some do some damage, do some upsets, and do some things like that? What would you say are
I think
some?
it's gonna be the Strikers and Angels. If
Mhm,
anyone's gonna like make a like a kind of wow, I didn't like I didn't expect them to go all that far.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be them. Like if they make it to even the finals,
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
be shocked if they made it there. Like
yeah.
not because they're not good, but just because the pathway there is just seemingly impossible. Like
Yeah.
the Angels to get to the finals have to beat the Flames and then you. Like
Yeah.
that's absolutely nuts. That's a long road for them, right? And then the Strikers would have to beat the Warriors and then either myself or the Giants, right? So those are
Mm-hmm.
those are some huge games, and I just think if anyone like those are my wild card teams for sure. I
Yeah.
think, and there it's totally possible. I don't cut it out, but it would be a hard road.
Mm. Ah, that's real. I could really see that.
Mm,
And it's crazy. I could see so much. I didn't think like if we look at like there's so much we could talk about in this
mm.
talk show. Um, and at some point we got to get to the goat conversation because like that's a big
Oh
conversation.
no, are you already
Please,
on? You're ready for
I
that already, eh?
I want that conversation, man. I want that.
You know
We
what?
just
I
not.
think I think that conversation would have been good after these playoffs because I think it would have been like then we could have
Mm,
like said it, right? We could have been like
yeah,
that
yeah,
this is it, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think I think what's just happened is now made that conversation hard. I think it's made it
Yes,
hard.
with Ashton. I mean, with Aiden.
Yeah.
And Aiden is this season. One thing we can say about Aiden is, man, he's like a leader in almost every category. Like he
Mhm.
is dominant.
Rebounds.
He's leading in rebounding. I don't even know where he's at in terms of like blocks and steals. But
Mhm.
what I do know is that like he's a two-way player.
Yeah,
Very
he is.
very dominant two-way player. Literally has now the record for like the most points averaged in a season.
Wow.
He stole that from Zach.
Yeah.
He took it from Zach. He literally took it from Zach. And he has a record of most points in a game with 45 points.
Just take this in. Just take this in. He's almost
Mm-hmm.
scored 200 points this season,
Oh my
total
good.
points. He's
Oh
at
my goodness.
196. He was 4 points away from getting 200
Wow.
points. That's got to be the
Wow.
most points by a single player in a season.
I think it is. I think
Yeah,
it is. I have to go back and look at some of the old stats, but I don't think there's anyone that came close to that.
yeah, yeah,
As like, yeah, nobody would have come close to that because Zach, who played every game and averaged 20, was it 24 points a game, I think it is.
yeah. It's something around there. 20.
So like,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't even like he wouldn't have had that much if
No,
he.
no.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's unbelievable. Honestly, it's incredible. Like, I mean, he's top 5 in steals as
Wow.
well. Like,
Oh my goodness, man.
yeah, yeah.
Like I'm gonna say yeah, I'll make it so things everybody's gonna be talking about this, but like this is I'm gonna say that Aiden is like right now
Mm,
he's looking like the LeBron of CYBL right now
mm,
in terms of his all around dominance.
right.
When you look at like a LeBron James,
Mm-hmm.
like LeBron, especially in his prime, like he dominated in like every area. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
when I'm looking at Aiden, that's the kind of like he's not a finesse player.
Mm-hmm.
Though he can, like we saw some of that crazy reverse layup stuff he did,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
crazy like jelly off the glass, like
yeah.
some crazy stuff he's doing. But like that's not the player he is. He's really like a dominant locomotive,
Yeah,
drive to the basket. He'll take a three when he needs to.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But really just like drives to the basket. Like that's the kind of player that I see
Mm-hmm.
out of him. And then like I mean, right behind that, you've got right behind Aiden, you've got Liam McAllister.
Mm.
You know, who's had I think one of the best seasons of his career
Mm-hmm.
statistically.
Yeah.
Um, and having like a 30 point games this season, on a team that really doesn't necessarily need his scoring as much because like we just are an all around team. We play all together, but like you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even sometimes he gets to 30 points and I don't even understand how. Like I don't even like. And it's
Yeah,
not like oh yeah I saw it coming. It's like he got to 30 points in such a way that was so slick because he's still passing the ball to everybody, but like he gets his shots
yeah,
and he's been a way more accurate shooter this season
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
than even in seasons past, man. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I
He's
think.
definitely got to be one of the best playmakers that's been in the CYBL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but and I think there's other guys up and coming that are going to be contending for that spot, like guys
Oh
like
yeah.
Jordan Cuban and stuff. But like yeah, he's been pretty dominant that way in just his playmaking and his
Yeah.
vision of the court. Like there's times where he's
Yeah.
driving and he'll just whip the ball all the way across to someone who's
Yeah. Yeah.
wide
Yeah.
open, and you're like, wow, that was impressive. Like it was just
Mm-hmm.
he just has great vision in that aspect.
It's crazy. He's averaging essentially 19 points per game this
Mhm.
season, which is a career high for him. You know, 2.4 rebounds. He's not really much of a rebounder, so that's okay. But on the defensive end of the ball too, he's leading with 25 steals.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what? Unbelievable that he is even has more steals than Keel.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. He took that over. Keel was leading that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's really crazy to see, man. So, and he's talking about some of the top players. I want to go right into just talking about the All Stars this season because, like, we got the All Star game coming up Friday as well. Big
Mm,
thing. And so we got a list of All Stars this season that I feel like really deserve to be in their spots. We talked about a few of them, but I'm just gonna go through the list here. And anyone that pops up for you, you want to talk about, you can just
mm,
hit it. But we got obviously Aiden Stockton, who we just talked about.
mm.
Nathan Lanning, never surprises.
Yeah,
He's always there. And then you've got Michael Duenas. Wow.
yeah.
Let's stop. Let's stop here for a second. What have you thought about his performance this season, man?
I think honestly he's on the right team for him
Mm,
because those guys understand the way Michael plays and he
mm-hmm.
understands what his job is, right?
Mm,
Like he understands that his job is to finish. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
doesn't need to make it look pretty. He doesn't need and the thing is he's done really good at that and his team's done really good, especially Jordan Cuban at getting him the ball.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the perfect fit for him on that team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's
would agree.
yeah, his finishing's been incredible, honestly, this season. It's just
Wow.
yeah, like some of those
Stunning.
shots you're just thinking there's not a chance
Yeah.
and it just makes it.
Those floaters are just wild. Like I hate the way he must just practice those because that's just like he really he's kind of like the floater king of CYBL. You know what I mean? That's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
essentially what he does,
Yeah.
and it's pretty crazy. Uh, so then you got Liam McAllister.
Yeah.
We just talked about KJ.
Mhm.
KJ,
KJ's had
you
a
know,
great season, yeah.
wow, he's at career highs this season. He's only excelling, and I think as you're going
Mhm.
to continue to do that for him, and going forward, like, yeah, we're really going to get to see to what level KJ is going to go to next. I think in this
Yeah.
playoffs. I think this
Well,
playoffs.
like you look at KJ, he's third in steals and he's top 5 in points.
Goodness.
So, I mean, yeah, he's one of the most elite players in the league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You get like yeah.
And he's one of the
Um.
best playmakers out there as well. Like just
Yeah.
that
I would
I
definitely.
forgot about him when we were talking about playmaking, but like
Mhm.
just what he does is he sucks everyone in and then just passes the ball
Mhm.
for someone else to finish it. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. He makes them look so amazing, and yet it's like he's doing all the hard work, right? Which is
Yeah.
obviously that's what a playmaker is, right? They're just unselfish
Yeah.
that way. But yeah, he's having a great season.
He really is. He
Hmm.
really is. Then you got Nash.
Yeah.
Nash, so he's a rookie this season, but man, is he anchoring an offense or what, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and he's so dangerous defensively as well. Like I just like he's always anticipating
Hmm.
passes. Like he may not always get the steal, just because a lot of times he tips it away. I've noticed he'll tip it away and someone else will grab it and they're counting it,
Mm.
for that guy, whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
but he's aware of what's going on around him, right?
yeah,
He's doing a good job on both ends. I find actually,
yeah.
it's offensively, obviously he's dominant, but defensively too. I noticed even last game he got a lot of steals or even tipped it away for one of his teammates, right? So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I think that like he, we didn't really talk about him in the sharpshooter as a sharpshooter, but I think that like
mm,
he's really, man, he shoots that ball like so well. Shoots
yeah.
that ball very well. Like he's made a lot of his shots,
Oh yeah.
like a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
shots.
He does. Yeah,
Uh,
you're right. Yeah.
that's that's a key for sure. And then obviously Ashton Peckett, who
Yeah.
we didn't see as much of him as we wanted to, but the league has spoken. They
Yeah.
know the kind of player that he is. They know that he's just as dominant as he is. Really like the captain, leader on that team.
Mm,
And if he can get healthy, man, we
mm,
know what he can do. We've
yeah.
seen it. We've seen it, and that's why we know that they could make it the finals.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
when Ashton played against us last quarterfinal game,
Mm,
they nobody else really was playing very well. I think Ewan was sick, so he wasn't even there, and it was his best season. And they needed him,
mm.
but like he dropped 30 points in that game,
Yeah.
and it just look he did it with ease.
Yeah. No, he did for sure.
Um, so you got him. Then you got Grayson Baptiste. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Grayson Baptiste, who's back. Came back early this season in free agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think he had a good.
yeah.
I think hopefully those first two games he showed really well. I just hope
Mm,
that he can bring that into the playoffs. Just bring that same intensity and
yeah.
help elevate that team to a whole nother level because that's what he did when he came in. He brought them to a whole nother level. So I just hope he can do that again and show why he's an all-star, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's true, man. It's true. I think so too. I'm gonna speed through these because of time, but
Yeah.
we got Aaron Fullahan, Sebastian,
Mm.
um, Keel, Miles, Dante, Jordan, Cohen. So we got two rookies in the All Star
Wow.
this season.
Yeah.
Big, big. Um, then you got Zyman, first All Star appearance. A big one for me. We'll stop for this one. We have Darren. Darren's
Yes.
made the All Star.
Yeah.
His first time in the All Star, and then
Mm.
Braden. So those two really in particular, Braden L. Smith and Darren.
Yeah, they've been impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really happy for Darren. I mean, he's honestly, to me, he's been the cornerstone of that team in a
Mhm.
sense. Like, if you're talking about like, man, they're almost like, you know what they are?
What?
They're the Golden State Warriors. They're like literally the Golden State Warriors. Like he's like Draymond Green, right? Isn't he? Like, and he can
Yeah,
actually shoot too. Like, that's the crazy part. It's not,
Braden,
yeah, or not Braden.
Darren.
I'm talking about Darren. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
S-
Darren. You know what? You're right.
they
You're right. They
they are
got the Splash
literally,
Brothers.
yeah, they've got the
Yeah,
Splash Brothers and they've got Draymond Green.
and Draymond Green. Yeah, except with less violence, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and he's done a great job. I just think like in that even that aspect, I've noticed that he's done a good job. Maybe at the start of the season, there were some times where things were getting a bit heated, but I haven't noticed that from him lately, and he just looks to have a great
Mhm.
attitude out there.
Oh yeah.
And I think that affects why he's having games like he did last game.
Mhm.
He had
Wow.
16 points,
Yeah.
10 rebounds. He was the leading scorer on that team. It wasn't
Yeah.
Nathan Lanning, it was
It wasn't
Darren.
Nathan. It was Darren. Yeah.
He's top 5 in rebounds per game.
Goodness.
Yeah, like he's doing a great job, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You're right though. He is like the Draymond Green, and they're like
Mhm.
the gold sense. You got the Splash Brothers
Yeah.
with Miles and Nathan Lanning, who are always running. They're always candidates for the sharpshooter award.
Yeah.
And then
I know.
you
It's
got
always a battle.
it is. It is. Oh man, it's gonna be. And then they have so many surrounding
I
pieces.
know.
It
Yeah.
is going to be something to watch. Like there have been a number of seasons for the Flames that I think they would say they were even just a little disappointed in, where
Mm.
they would make it to the finals and then just like not be able to finish it off.
Mhm.
Um, Not even they didn't really give themselves even like a competing chance in those final performances.
Mm.
I think that if there's a season they can do it,
Yeah.
it's this season.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a season they can do it if they can come together. It's this season.
Right. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe if Nathan doesn't come, who knows? Maybe somebody else steps up.
Oh, yeah.
Like you
I
said,
know there's yeah.
Nathan Nathan only had 11 points last game,
Yep. Yeah.
and they beat the Angels.
Yeah.
So
I know. That's impressive. It is impressive. Yeah.
like who else can come up with those 11 points? Like
Yeah.
can Hudson come up with those 11 points?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can Kyson come up with those 11 points? Like, who is it on that team that can do it?
Yeah.
Does
Yeah. I know they have Aiden Salazar. They have a lot
Eden
of guys.
Salazar?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot of people. Lucas Fredrickson,
Yeah.
who I feel like hasn't gotten a lot of looks yet, but like
Mhm.
they have a lot of pieces that it could show up even in the absence. So like it's not
Mhm.
to know that Trevor had a 5 hour practice with them.
Yeah. I know they could really show well. Yeah.
They really could, man.
Mhm.
So yeah, we got that. I wanted to hit on the awards, but I don't know how much time we got.
I
There's a
don't
lot
even
of
have
awards.
any battery left on this phone. This
Yeah,
thing's going
yeah.
down, buddy.
Yeah. So that's okay. You know what? We might have to have a talk show just at the end of the season after every.
Recap the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can kind of just like go over everything, see where we're at. We make it up to the fans
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
we haven't had as many talk shows. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, is there anything? Is there any last things you want to say before we close off the talk show
Um,
today?
I think, I think the season's been spectacular just with the way people have been playing, the community we've had and stuff. And so
Mm,
I guess I'm hoping for that for the playoffs, that
yeah.
everyone has a good time and that
Oh yeah.
because I know it gets heated. I know it gets heated. I played sports my whole life, but it's one of those things. I just hope, like and it's kind of like Nathan Lanning has that attitude. They lose, he's
Mhm.
happy. They win, he doesn't play well, he's happy. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's just having a good time, and I just hope that for everyone that they,
Yeah.
I know I'm competitive. I like to win too, but don't let that get the best of you, right? Like just
Yeah. Yeah.
do your best, have a good time out there, and it'll be what
Yeah.
it'll be, right?
Yeah, no, and that's it, man. Like we're a family, so like if we don't make it, like if we lose, like we're cheering the next
Yeah,
man up.
exactly.
Let's
Yeah.
root for the next man up. Let's root for the next team
Amen.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like that's what it's about. Like we're a family,
Mhm.
and I that's something I really do value at CYPL is that we do see each other more than just an opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, it really is a family and a community playing
Mhm.
together. So. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. I
Yeah,
hope that
absolutely.
it gets. It's just really fun. I hope it's just a really fun playoffs. Just really fun. That's
Mhm.
what I want. I
Yeah.
want this playoffs to be just super like memorable and really fun with whatever happens, however it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
You know, make those memories, man. So. Yeah, if you guys want to, you're gonna have to join us either, watch online on on YouTube, or you're gonna have to join us in person at at Berry Free Methodist Church or Eastview Secondary School, because that's where we're going to be Friday at Berry Free Methodist, Saturday at
Mm-hmm.
Eastview Secondary School. You can come join us, come be a fan, cheer us on. It's going to be a good time. There'll be pizza for sale, drinks, and snacks for sale. So, yeah, it's going to be a family event. It's going to be a good time, man.
Yeah.
So, anyways, bro, it's always good, doing this talk show with you.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. It's been fun. I'm glad we got one in here before the playoffs.
yeah, yeah, me too, me too. So, it's all you guys. Thank you for tuning in.